Good morning, good afternoon. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about, sorry about that, the mic is out of my way. Good morning, good afternoon, konnichiwa, konbanwa. I just want to talk to all of my listeners, and I want to tell you first, I appreciate you. And second, today I'm going to talk about my opinion about something. If I talk too fast in English, please slow it down. Change the setting to 0.5 speed. And first, let's kick it off with Hikari. Thank you.
皆さんこんにちは。毎日少しずつ社交に使える英語の上達を目指すソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストへようこそ。今日はぜひもっと自信を持って英会話してみましょう。Are you ready, Parsi? Let's go!
Okay, so we're back again with another episode of the Social English for Japanese Learners or Social English for Japanese People podcast. If you are new to the podcast, thanks for showing up today. I appreciate you being here. It really means a lot to me that you come check out my podcast. Also, I know that one of the reasons you did that is because you want to get better at English. Now, for those of you that are returning, thanks for showing up and returning. I'm glad to see you. And please continue listening. There will be a lot more to learn as we go on through the podcast. Excuse me. Today I got a little bit of a cold, so hopefully it doesn't affect the quality of the podcast because I really want you to hear my voice clearly. Today's topic. Today is an opinion. My opinion on making a clear understanding when you're learning English that there is a difference, a huge difference between written and spoken English when it comes to scripted English. So not just written English, but scripted English. Okay? We're going to talk about that in today's podcast. But first, I want you to kick back and listen to the sounds. Picture me and you are in your favorite cafe, and you've invited me there. I am Percy, your friend from America, and we're just going to talk about English. You could hear the coffee pour as I have my mocha latte and you possibly a cappuccino. But this afternoon that you invited me to the cafe, the people are all around us. It is a fun, relaxed atmosphere, and we're going to learn a little English today and a little social English. Okay, so scripted English. Here is the problem with scripted English. It does matter. Okay? It matters if you use scripted English or spoken conversational English. Okay. Let's talk about why. There are differences in the words that you use to write a story, an article, or even a YouTube script. These words are not considered to be the same as if you were to speak to someone in person. Words matter. The words you use are very important, and they do matter when you speak to someone. the choice of words that you use, especially if you are an intermediate to advanced English student, will affect your conversational partner in different ways. So your best bet, what you really want to do, is avoid the use of scripted English. You want to have a natural, flowing, fun conversation with someone. You want to talk to them, ask them questions, and you want them to feel comfortable and want to talk to you and enjoy each other's conversation. That's your goal. You cannot do that with scripted English. Scripted English makes you sound fake or like a robot. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to speak English to a native English speaker, someone from America, Australia, Canada, the UK, New Zealand? Have you ever had a conversation and you saw them laugh or smile or giggle at something you said? Now, a lot of the time, it wasn't because you said something wrong as far as your English was wrong, but many times, in my experience, Japanese learners of English or Japanese students sometimes use scripted English, which sounds very strange to an English speaker. Okay? So it's nothing personal. It's not you. It's just the way that you used the language. That made it sound a little strange. Okay. So please think about that. Okay. Here at Social English, our goal is to help you, the listener and Japanese learner of English, get better at real spoken English. I'll take it even further. I want you to learn social English tools, tricks, techniques, and drills to help you become more confident. Okay? Some words sound like the person that you are going to be talking to is less educated to you, or than you, less educated than you by the way you use the words in conversation. Before, in an earlier podcast, I mentioned that you do not want to use the phrase these days. You don't want to use the words these days because when you're sitting in front of someone, if you use the word the phrase these days, it sounds like you think you are more important than them, or you are trying to, it sounds like you're trying to perform English instead of speaking English, because these days is more of a scripted language when it comes to modern expressions in conversation. So try to avoid that. Also, in a previous episode, I talked about the YouTube phrase, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. And this is something you also do not want to use. Avoid the phrase, hey guys. It does not do anything for you when you're trying to learn the language, okay? So let's talk about some, let's flip the script. Let's change up a little bit. and talk about a little bit more. Now, issues, problems that you may have. Context. Some words or phrases that you learn shouldn't be used in different social situations because they seem very cold. And by cold, it sounds like you have no emotions and you do not care about the subject that you are talking about. So please avoid using words that sound very cold or robotic in your conversation. Okay. Again, let's stay away from using words that are editorial words, words that you would not use in normal conversation. As I stated before, you wouldn't say something like, these days. What you would say is you would say, nowadays, or now, or right now, something like that. I'd say 90% of the time, 99 maybe, you want to use the phrase nowadays. It's a pretty safe phrase to use that lets you express yourself conversationally. Now, I don't want to talk about how to write English and how to structure grammar and all that stuff because that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about helping you to learn how to speak English clearly, confidently, so that the person that you are speaking to enjoys talking to you in your conversation. Okay, that's going to be it for today's podcast. Once again, I appreciate you coming by and listening to the podcast today. Now, I really want to thank you for showing up today. It really gives me joy that I'm able to spend time with you and that you took the time out to spend that with me. I really appreciate that. I do know that you learned something from today's episode, and I would like you to visit me. Visit me at realsocialenglish.com, where you can get my free download, The 7 Mistakes Most Japanese Learners of English Make, and How to Fix Them. You will also find more resources to help you get better at English every single day. Subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and now Pandora. Become a patron. Help the show by donating $5 US to help out the show. We will show you thanks by personally thanking you on a future episode, and there are also more goodies available at Patreon. Okay? We also get new content only available there. Join us there at patreon.com/social English. That's patreon.com/social English. Share our podcast on your social media with your friends and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, I'll see you next time. Hikari, take it away.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイト realsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.